snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I am here today to do my December wrap up at last. It is the end of December, which means it's the end of 2015. It's crazy. I'm just gonna wrap it all up and tell you what I read in December. Obviously, December is a busy month for everyone because it's Christmas period or holiday time and people are celebrating, people get time off work, you get together with your family and have a great time, and I had an amazing Christmas this year. It was probably one of my best ever. I had all of my family around me, I had my boyfriend come down, and we all just had such a good time together, so it was such a good time, so fun, and because of that, I didn't read as much as I wanted to, but I did do a pretty good job on the whole, I think. So I'm just going to show you guys what I ended up reading in the month of December. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is Dune, and I picked this up as part of my Goodreads group. It was the one that won. Didn't really enjoy it, only gave it a 2 out of 5 stars, I'm afraid, so probably won't be continuing on with any of the other ones in the series, but happy that I read it. The next one that I picked up is The Just City by Jo Walton. Again, I picked this one up hoping to really enjoy it. Didn't love it that much, I'm afraid, but I did a buddy read and I gave this a 2.5 stars overall, so it was an interesting read, but it did have some flaws for sure. Then I picked up Prince of Fools, which is by Mark Lawrence. This is the first one in his Red Queen's War series, I believe, and again I did this as a buddy read, was really hoping for good things. Was a bit disappointed by the whole thing because it wasn't as good as the Broken Empire series at all, and so I only gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars overall, but I will be continuing because I do own the second and I think it might have potential, but just the first book was not as good as the first book in the other series, unfortunately. I also picked up Witches of Lichford, which is by Paul Cornell. This is a tiny little novella from Tor, and I really enjoyed this actually. I ended up giving this one a 4 out of 5 stars, so definitely would recommend these little Tor novellas, and I do want to pick up a couple more for myself in the new year because very, very fun, very quick to get through, and looking forward to trying out a few other shorter fictions. Another one which I picked up and gave 4 stars to is Hex. This is by Thomas Old Huvelt, and I believe this is translated from Dutch, so that's pretty cool. This is a horror and it's pretty easy, light horror, so it's not too dark or anything. Actually ended up really enjoying this and the way that things in this story were told, and the technology, the use of technology like YouTube and Twitter and everything is very well integrated into this story. It didn't feel forced, it just felt quite seamless, so I really liked that, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. I then also ended up reading Caliban's War, which is by James S.A. Corey. This is the second one in the Expanse series, and I read this with James, whose channel I will link down below, so go and check him out. This book is really fun, definitely an improvement on the first one in my opinion. I felt like this just captured my attention way more. It is a bit longer, I think, but it captured my attention way more, made me far more interested in the world as a whole, and was better written overall as well. So definitely enjoyed this, and I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars as well. Then another reason why I didn't get through an awful lot this month is because I read this. It's ridiculously long, it's the longest book I've ever read. It is Tull the Hounds. It's by Stephen Erickson. It's book number 8 in the Malazan Book of the Fallen series, and my god, it is huge. It is really big. But I actually ended up loving the ending of this book. It didn't really make up for the fact that it is so slow moving at the beginning, but it is a well written book and I think Stephen Erickson can write, so I ended up giving this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Couldn't give it that 5 stars because even though the ending was very cool, it just couldn't make up for the fact that there is so much drag throughout this front part of the book. So yes, definitely a great ending, a long way to get through to get to that ending. Then I picked up Scarlet Tides, which is by David Hare. I was buddy reading this with Michael from Bitten by a Radioactive Book, but honestly I kind of sped ahead of him because I got so into this one, guys. It is probably my favourite book of the month. It is probably one of my favourite books of the whole year. It's incredible. It's so much better than the first book, and I love the first book, so that's saying something. I've given both of them 5 stars so far. I'm so excited to get on to the third one in the series and then the fourth one in the series because I own both of them, and it's just going to be a lot of fun, I think, reading these and really enjoying the next ones in the series. It's such an exciting world, such an exciting set of magic and set of characters. It's really fantastic in all the areas, and I just cannot praise it more highly to you, but it's just epic. So pick this series up. David Hare is a New Zealand writer. He's absolutely incredible and really, really worth your time. Please check him out. If you like fantasy, you'll love it. I promise you, it's amazing. Check this series out. Obviously, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. That is without question. And then, of course, some other ones that I gave 5 out of 5 stars to, but this is quite predictable. I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone this month, and it's by J.K. Rowling, obviously, but this is the illustrated edition, which is put together by Jim Kay. The illustrations within this, I think you'll all agree, are very, very, very stunning, and I just look at that. It's so beautiful, guys, so beautiful, and reading through it with illustrations is a completely new experience. It really adds more to the story because the illustrations stay a lot more true to the story than the films, and I just loved it. It was so good, and obviously I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because it's Harry Potter and it's illustrated, and what is there not to love? So then naturally I went on to the second one in the series, which is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling, and loved this so much the second time through. Rereading this made it really, really excellent for me, and getting to know some of the characters a bit more and sort of seeing the world start to open up a bit more was just magical, and again, 5 out of 5 stars, naturally. I also read the third one in the series, which is The Prisoner of Azkaban, and this is so good. Probably the favourite one yet in the reread. I just really, really enjoyed this. All of the excitement in this book. There's just so much good stuff in this, and it's really, really heartwarming as well at times. And again, 5 out of 5 stars. Now onto the graphic novels or graphic things that I read. I read Paper Girls 3. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's alright, like I'm liking it, but then it's too weird for me. I think it's too weird, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one really, and I like the art, but I don't know if I'm going to keep on buying them. I then read this one, which is one of my new ones that I got for Christmas. It is called Big Questions, and it's by Anders Nilsson, and I read this out loud with my boyfriend. It's a kind of philosophical story told through the eyes of birds, and it's really weird, really quirky. Very black and white illustrations, which are very cool, but it's just such an interesting read, and I had to give it a 3.5, even though it's wacky, even though it's weird, because it was just so interesting at times as well, and so thought-provoking, and I'm so happy to have this, and I definitely got all the memories attached to it, because I read this out loud with my boyfriend, and it was such a fun experience, and it's a very, very beautiful book all round, and the insides, the little birds are quite cute too, so... Oh god. It's too heavy. It's a very, very cool book, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read is Ovarium. It's a tiny little chapbook, and it's by Ali Oldfield, and this is basically just a tiny book all about eggs. I picked this up when I was in London with Mercedes and Eleanor, and it's just so cute. I absolutely adore the illustrations within this. They are adorable, and I would highly recommend that you check this out if you can get it online, or if you can buy it through Gosh Comics or something, because it's such a cute one, really adorable, and I just loved it, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next one that I ended up reading is Patsy Walker aka Hellcat, issue number 1 of the all new, all different Marvel series, which recently came out. That's quite a title. I actually loved this, guys. It was so much fun. The art style within this is really, really cute and very, very quirky, and it's got some little chibi moments which were so sweet as well. It was just really enjoyable, and the humour, the sense of humour was spot on. Exactly what I want to see, and I just really enjoyed it, so gave it a 4 out of 5, and I will be continuing with this series. The next one that I picked up is Monstrous issue 2. Absolutely loved this. Don't want to give anything away, but I talked about the first issue of this already, and it is incredible. It's so good. I've got a review coming up very, very soon. Loved this. Gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. First one I gave 5 stars. Check this one out. Then I read volume 2 of Porcelain, which is called Bone China. This is by Benjamin Reed and Chris Wildgoose, and it is incredible. Again, I absolutely love this. The art style is amazing, and it continues the story of Child when she is a lady and she's older and she owns the porcelain empire. And I'm not going to say anything more than that other than pick this up, please. It's so good. Oh, I loved this. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The art is incredible. The story's fabulous. It's such a good series. Oh, it's just so good. Check it out. And the final one that I want to talk about is The Arrival by Shaun Tan, which is a new one that I got given for Christmas, and I loved it. It is my favourite ever graphic novel. It's all told through images, no actual writing. It's so beautifully illustrated. It tells about this story of the man in this book who goes on this travel adventure, and he's basically a new arrival in a foreign place. He doesn't really know anything about where he's going and where he's ending up, but it's such a good story, guys. It really is. I would highly, 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 highly recommend this. Please check it out. Obviously, I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. There'll be a full review of this coming really soon because I loved it so much. It's my favourite ever graphic novel, probably. It's so good. It's kind of fantastical, it's kind of whimsical, it's kind of crazy, but it's awesome. So yeah, check this one out. Please do. If anything, check this one out. And also Scarlet Tides. Those are my 2 highest recommendations of the month. So, I would love to hear what you guys have been reading this month. Do let me know in the comments. Let me know if you read any of the ones I mentioned. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all very soon for my January TBR, and goodbye! Me and you gonna have a little chat about books.